Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing a New Year's Eve glam. I feel like every year I do the same look, but I always do it a little bit differently and there's a little bit of newer products. So I will be doing my typical New Year's Eve vampy lip and silvery smoky eye combo. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching and please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week. And that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, this might be, or this is either the last or the second to last video in this weird setup before I'm back in a real studio, my studio, which I will be building in our new place. That's coming soon. But for now, unfortunately, this is what we're working with. So please forgive me and let's jump right into the video. Alright, so I did already prime my eyes, and I did actually throw in a little bit of black liner in the waterline, because this is going to be New Year's Eve glam. You guys know I like things very smoky and very, harsh, so I will be using the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette, just because when I think of, glam and New Year's, this is definitely the palette that comes to mind. So I'm going to start by taking the shade Soothe Matte right here, which is a soft camel brown. And I'm just going to start by tracing this in the crease. Then taking Ritual, which is also going to be a matte brown shade. I'm going to take quite a bit of that, and I'm just going to blend that into the outer crease area, really just building this definition up. I will be going in with a black shadow as well, but I do want to make sure that I really set down a nice clean gradient, because we want this to be smoky, but we don't want this to be super grungy. I still want it to be very blended and very put together. Taking that first brush with no additional product, just blending it out to soften a little bit. Then I'm going to take more of that brown and really just build it on the outer half of the eyelid, since I am going to be taking a black shadow as well, just to really smoke that out. I do want to make sure that we are a little bit more defined with quite a bit of this brown. Then going into a much smaller baby brush, I'm going to take Memory, the matte black, and I'm going to take a very small amount of that just on the tip of the brush, and I'm really just going to concentrate it on the very outer corner and crease. Taking a tiny bit of Story, the orangey matte, I'm going to take just a tiny bit, just blending out the crease, because I do want to have a little bit more warmth there. See how that just kind of brings everything together, especially since we're going to be doing a smoky silvery color on the lid. Taking the Aura Sequin shade, which is going to have a little bit of shimmer to it, I'm just going to blend the brow bone and the edges of the transition just to kind of make sure it's a little more blended. So for the lid, I'm going to take Memory Metallic, which is right here. It's a little on the gunmetal side, but it's got a really pretty reflect, and I will be taking a loose silver glitter on top anyway. So I'm just going to add this to the lid. Then taking a little bit on a brush, just to make sure we really get precise on the lid. Next, I'm going to grab Diamond Dust from Stila. This is the Magnificent Metals glitter, which is a very bold silver glitter. And I'm going to start by applying pretty generously to the inner corner of the lid, then going into that brush. Just going to move that glitter exactly where we want it. Alright, and now that that glitter is on, I'm going to go back into a mixture of the black and the brown matte shades. And I'm just going to really build in the inner corner, just to bring a little bit of that smokiness back from what we lost with that glitter. Going into that smaller brush, I'm really just going to trace around the glitter, just to make sure that that crease definition is not lost. I mentioned this in, I want to say 2 videos ago. Maybe it was my last video, but I was talking about how when Cher does her eyeshadow, and a lot of drag queens do the same thing. Once they put their lid shade, they'll take that definer shade and they'll really tightly hug it to the crease line, just because it does emphasize that shape a little bit. And I am going to also take a tiny bit more of Soothe and Story mixed together, so the orangey tone and the transition brown, and really just blend up from that crease. All right, I'm going to go throw on mascara and lashes, and I'll be right back. All right, lashes are on, so we're going to jump into concealer. I did already prime my face with my normal combo. Everything I use, as always, will be listed down below. I have been playing around with the Beauty For Real MVP Perfect and Protect Tinted Moisturizer. Today, I'm not going to be using the tinted moisturizer side because I want a little bit more coverage. However, I have been really liking the concealer part. So this is a 2-in-1 product where you have your tinted moisturizer and your concealer in the cap. So for today specifically, I am going to be specifically using the concealer part. So I'm going to take that on a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to kind of like rub a little bit of concealer into the product and really just brighten the under eye. Lately, when I've been going more of that like full glam look, what I've been wanting to do is I'll do my brightening with the concealer first, and then I'll take my foundation around it. Because while I want it to be more on the like brightened, snatched, and definitely like full glam side, I still want it to be not super heavy. The brush isn't really picking it up as much as I would like, so I'm going to take a bit more on the finger and just buff that in. And for today, I'm going to take the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation because it's a little darker than the other foundations I have with me, and I do want to go a little bit more glam today. So for that, I will go in a touch darker. Plus, because I didn't go in with a traditional foundation, and I'm not going to be doing a full-on concealer moment, I do want to take something that I can kind of blend into that concealer area, but it will wear nicely on the under eye. So I'm just going to blend that in. And now I'm not taking concealer directly into the under eyes because I already did that with the other concealer, but I am going to take a little bit of my Tarte Shape Tape just in the crevice of the nose, because this area I always need a little extra love. And I'm going to take a tiny bit of this to brighten. The MVP from Beauty For Real was my like under eye concealer because I find that that one doesn't budge and doesn't settle into any crevices or creases a little bit better than the liquids I've been using lately. Then just going to take some translucent powder. This one is from Lancome. And I'm just going to make sure that there are no creases in the forehead, and then set that right down. And then do the same thing on the side of the nose and the under eye. And you guys know the deal. My fluffy powder brush, just to make sure that everything is seamless and set down nice and smooth. Then, switching to my Charlotte Tilbury powder, I'm going to take that and really just concentrate this on the cheek area. Before I jump into the cheeks, I am going to finish up the eyes. So grabbing a small pencil brush and the dark brown shade from the palette, I'm going to, where's my mirror? I'm going to run that very close to the waterline. Then dipping into that fluffy brush with Soothe, the transition shade right here, I'm just going to blend that out. I'm going to take the Aura metallic shade and highlight the inner corner. So lately I haven't been doing much contour, but today I'm going to be taking my Hourglass Unlocked palette, and I'm going to use those two shades together, mainly this one in the middle, and really just contour out the hollow of the cheekbone and the hairline. Then grabbing my Maybelline City Mini Bronzer, I'm going to take a fluffy brush and just kind of warm up the face over the contour. I am going to take the brightening shade right here, and I'm going to take that just to brighten the under eye up a little bit. And I'm going to take that really anywhere we put the concealer, just to make sure that we still get that brightness. I'm going to use the lighter of the two blush shades in here, just to add a little bit of rosiness and glow. It does have a little bit of a coral undertone, but it's so pretty. Then taking a tiny bit of the darker shade, like Next to Nothing, and really just adding a tiny bit of that over the apple of the cheek. Next to Nothing, again. I just want to add a little bit, because the coral tone is beautiful for where I am, but I am also in sunny Paradise, Florida, not in New York like I normally would be, where everything would be super mauvey and super grungy because it's really cold. All right, I am looking a little off, so I'm going to take a little bit of a tinted brow gel. This is my favorite one. It is from Milk, just to kind of pull some color through my brows. Then grabbing a spoolie just to soften the front and then reshape. All right, we are getting there. I'm going to use the same palette just to throw some highlight on the cheeks. That got a whole lot more intense than I thought it would right out the gate. I'm going to kind of loop that around the brow as well. Then going back into my blush brush, just kind of pulling out that highlighter just to tone it down a little bit more. Grabbing my Smashbox setting spray, we're going to lock everything in place. And I'm going to go throw on what I think is going to be a nice bold red lipstick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I just threw on a lip liner and the Griselda lipstick from Fenty, which I will link down below. You guys know this is one of my favorite lipsticks of all time, and I love pairing it with like these silver grungy silver eye looks, so I am a huge fan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave it a thumbs up and let me know down below, what are you going to be rocking this New Year's Eve? But this is basically like every year my go-to New Year's Eve look. It's always like silvery and smoky and a nice bold vampy lip. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!